Well, good morning, everybody. It's DeDe in the morning, and everybody is here. There goes Jay Cruz, Keita Rose, Trey G, and comedian JJ Williamson. You guys, guess what? I told you, I was at the White House for the Christmas party. We became really good friends. This man is calling in. He's so busy. He's running the world almost. He's running the United States, but he's got time for us. Please give it up for the man himself, our President of the United States, Joe Biden. Good morning.
Hey. I'm honored to be with you, DeDe. I'm honored to be with you, for real. Thank you.
I'm honored that you are here. I was just talking to comedian JJ Williamson on the show. We were just talking about the fact that there was a man named Plies. Rapper Plies said that you and Vice President Kamala Harris need to learn how to brag a little bit more about your accomplishments, okay?
I think we have a bunch of them, and I think you're probably right. Look, we got so much done, and some of it we knew was going to take time to sink into people because we inherited a mess. We got in a situation where the economy was in turmoil, the country's in turmoil, and I think we got through a crisis, and I think we're on our way.
I think you are too. So let's talk about this. What's at stake for Black voters in the upcoming election? Please let us know.
Well, I think, quite frankly, everything's at stake. I come out of the civil rights movement. That's what got me involved in politics in the first place. And what's happened now is we finally are moving in a direction. When I got elected, the first thing I did was move on matters that related to helping African-American families. For example, education. We provided significant amounts of money for HBCUs, over $7 billion. We made sure we had debt forgiveness for tens of thousands of African-American students who borrowed money to go to college and are just strapped with the interest rates, and we've been able to wipe out so many of those. We've also provided access to more small businesses are being opened by African Americans than any time before. We're providing access to housing. There's a whole range of things where we've done that particularly focus on the Black community, including significantly increasing access to health care. More African Americans have health care than ever before. We found ourselves in a position where we have made enormous amount of strides, and we've closed the wealth gap by 60%. I mean, we've done a whole range of things, but it's long overdue. It's not like I'm looking to brag about it. It's just because, look, a significant portion of our growth and our stability relates to the Black community. And that's why, for example, when I got elected, I think I told you at the Christmas party we were together, I think I told you that I decided to have an administration that looked like America. I have appointed the first Black woman to be on the Supreme Court of the United States of America. I've appointed more circuit court judges who are African American than women than every other president in American history combined. And that's going to be a game changer in terms of having people who understand the concerns of ordinary people and all our communities. Anyway, I think we've made some real progress, and particularly, for example, a lot of African Americans, like white Americans and Hispanic Americans, have serious problems with need for prescription drugs and insulin. Well, we've lowered the prices dramatically from $400 a month to $35 a month. We created 15 million new jobs, a significant portion of them African American. And so there's a whole range of things we've done. But if you want to talk more specifically, I'm happy to do that. Like I said, we canceled, Black borrowers take on 85% more debt to go to college than white peers. We championed the largest increase in Pell Grants in the last decade. We invested $7 billion in historic Black universities. We lowered health care costs. We're investing in Black communities, repairing neglected infrastructure in Black communities.
I love that.
Well, there's so many African-American communities still have lead pipes going in their homes. And lead causes brain damage. And so we're replacing every lead pipe in America. We're also providing so many African-Americans don't have access to the Internet. And so we're making sure that every home in America has access to affordable Internet. We've connected 5.5 million Black households with high-speed Internet. So there's a lot we're doing beyond dealing with the justice issues. In the wake of George Floyd's murder, I signed an executive order, the most sweeping police reform ever.
All right, hold on a second, 1 second, you guys. We are talking to the president himself, the president of the United States, Joe Biden. More coming up. It's DeDe in the morning. Good morning. It's DeDe in the morning. And again, everybody is here. There is Jay Cruz, also Keita Rose, Trey G, and comedian JJ Williamson. Now, listen, you guys, we are actually talking to the president of the United States. Joe Biden is with us this morning. Of course, we're talking about, you know what, it's an election year, a lot of things going on. Let me see. JJ, we were talking about this, right, JJ, about a lot of people been told, or they have a mindset that their vote doesn't count. What can you say to those people?
Well, I could tell you what, I can name you a whole heck of a lot of states and counties and local elections that, in fact, get decided by a single vote. The people have their voice really matters. Because, look, folks turned out in 2020, and we've made remarkable progress since then because of that. And there's so much at stake: democracy, freedom, economic opportunity. If you haven't voted yet in the primary season, go to iwillvote.com to find out where you can vote. But think of the alternative, folks. If we lose this election, you're going to be back with Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, anyway, the way he talks about, the way he acted, the way he dealt with the African-American community, I think has been shameful.
Okay, so everybody, we are talking to President Joe Biden right now. JJ, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. Mr. President, this is comedian JJ Williamson. It's such an honor to be talking to you. I must say, now, when we found out we was going to interview you, I've been dressed since Saturday.
Me too. I've never hung out with that many, such a famous comedian.
Absolutely. I'm definitely one of them. You must Google me, comedian JJ Williamson.
I know who you are, pal. I really do.
Please do. You have done an amazing job this first term. And I'm just wondering, what is the mindset? What is the drive that wants you to do this again?
Well, look, the point about it really makes a gigantic difference. I've been really proud. Let me back up. Let's say it another way. America has led the world in almost every major breakthrough on civil rights, civil liberties. America has led the world in terms of healthcare, led the world across the board. And what I decided to do when I ran last time, was to make sure we changed the way we dealt with our economy. For example, it was always trickle-down economics. As long as the wealthy do very well enough to trickle down on the kitchen tables, like the house I was raised in, and everybody do well. But nothing trickled down on my dad's table. We lived in a 3-bedroom house in a decent neighborhood, a development, with 4 kids and a grandpop living with us. And my dad used to always say, look, Joey, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, everything's going to be okay. And the only way to do that is to change the dynamic, to build from the middle out and the bottom up, and give the poor a chance, the middle class do well. But what I'm focused on now, this next term, is making sure the super wealthy pay their fair share. Black wealth has increased 60% since the pandemic. Black employment is historic low, but it's not enough. If we had, for example, universal child care, we reduced poverty of black children. We cut it in half during the first part of my administration. And then the Republicans blocked me from doing it again. But we can do a significant amount to give people an even shot. And, for example, black communities should be having more money invested in their school systems, make sure they have access. I just think there's so many things, and it's about lowering costs for people. It's about putting money in their pockets, and it's about giving them a chance. I'm convinced from growing up where I did that there's not a damn thing we can't do together when we do it together.
Yes.
I love that. We are talking to the president of the United States, Joe Biden. More coming up. It's DeDe in the morning. Good morning. It's DeDe in the morning. And again, everybody is here. There is Jay Cruz, also Keita Rose, Trey G, and comedian JJ Williamson. Now, listen, we are talking to President Joe Biden as we talk about what's at stake for black voters in this upcoming election. Real quick, Trey G, you had a quick question before we let Mr. President off the line. What do you got?
Absolutely. In closing, Mr. Biden, since the interview is wrapping up, I'm a millennial voter. What message would you have to leave with the voting public that you want to just drive home?
I guess the single most important message is that our democracy is at stake. literally
Yep.
our democracy is dead. And
Absolutely.
the only way we're going to guarantee is the democracy, if democracy is functioning, we can make sure that people have a shot. For example, the idea that we haven't passed the John Lewis Voting Rights Act or the Freedom to Vote Act, the idea that I as a senator, I got the assault weapons ban passed and high-capacity magazines outlawed, and background checks universal. But look, it's not that. The NRA is still controlling us. It's wrong. Look at all the children. And look, you talk about mass shootings, and every single day there's a mass shooting in a black community somewhere in America. Every single day, and goes unnoticed. We've got to change the way in which we deal with this. We've got to close the loopholes for those billion. You know how much a billionaire pays in taxes? 6.3%. There's 1,000 of them. If we just had them pay 24% in taxes, we'd raise $500 billion. We'd be able to fundamentally, $1 billion over 10 years, fundamentally change what's available. And look, we cut black poverty in half in the first year, but there's so many more things we have to do. We have to make people start paying their fair share. We have to crack down on corporate gouging. Think about it. You go in and right now, you're going to win, and as you bounce a check or you pay a late fee for on your credit card, you're paying $35, $40, $50. I changed it to paying $3, $5 because corporations just ripping us off. We got to have people ready to fight for working folks.
Well, I love that,
Absolutely.
everybody. You hear what's at stake for all of us at this upcoming election. Make sure you get out there and vote. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, Mr. President.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being on the show. You guys got to give it up. I mean, what else can I say? Give it up for the President of the United States, Mr. Joe Biden, everybody.
Yes.
DeDe, I hope you'll have me back. I really mean it. Because you have a lot of influence. You communicate with a lot of people. That matters.
Well, Mr. Biden, Mr. President, everybody wants to come now. Trey G, JJ, we're all there. We're on the guest list. We're coming. We're going to help you get elected. We're coming. Okay, reelected.
Okay.
I'm outside now.
I'm waiting for you, kid. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. JJ, hey, guess what? Hey, President likes your country. And he said, I know who you are.